Welcome to the channel update. My name is Nilaus, in case you don't know, or in case you've only been watching YouTube videos and haven't even ever seen this ugly mug before. So, channel update, where I basically talk about what's going on the channel currently, what's been happening and what's going on. As always, when I sit down to write sort of a script and figure out what to include in this, I end up having way more than I had planned. I'm just gonna get my script up so I don't mess things up. So I'm going to go through it. I'm going to talk about sort of content creation in general. I'm going to talk about Factorio, obviously, and I'm going to talk about other content, both in terms of streaming and in terms of YouTube content. Now, let's start with the content in general. So the spring was a really magical time, with Satisfactory and Factorio coming out with big releases, and that has sort of spurred a lot of activity on the channel. I went full time, so it was awesome. We also had some sort of other games like Talos Principle and The Witness, and not to forget Portal 2. Absolutely amazing, really had a great time with it. But then sign of summer came, and as always with summer, things quiet down. People tend to be more outside than sitting inside watching videos. Totally expected. Views decreased, subs decreased, Patreons decreased. It's kind of what happens. Unfortunately, it hasn't really picked up after summer, and I guess it's just because some of those main games, they are not as fresh anymore, so I need to come up with new ways to engage you, dear audience. And that has, in my previous channel update, I was a bit frustrated about it, and I think I've also vented those frustrations a bit on my channel, and I have therefore, during the last month, actually been putting quite a little bit effort into listening more to myself. Basically what I'm doing is I'm kind of splitting myself into two. There is Nilaus, the owner of Nilaus TV, who deals with finances and statistics and all that stuff, and does the tax return and all the boring stuff. And then there's Nilaus, the content creator, who is the guy streaming. And I need to keep those two separate. I'm not very good at it because, you know what, it's just the one guy. But I need to make sure that I don't sort of let those two mesh together. So that means, from my perspective, I need to listen to myself more. Nilaus, the content creator, has to run the shots here. And that means I have to do the things that I want to do, not the things that I think that you want to watch, even though I necessarily don't want to do it, because that's going to end up with me being salty and not having a good time, and then you're not going to have a good time, and then it's a negative spiral. So I'd rather do something for less viewers that I enjoy, and then hopefully maybe it will grow into an audience, or if not, then at least I'm going to have a good time. If I wanted a job where I did not enjoy myself, I would get a corporate job. It would certainly make a lot more sense. So I have to do something I love. That is the part of the keeping the dream alive. It is important for me. Therefore, it's also a matter of just touching back on this whole streaming on Twitch versus recording for YouTube. The thing is, I would rather stream for 30 people on YouTube or on Twitch than I would record an episode and have 1,000 views on YouTube. The reason is that you can at least get an engagement, while if you record something and put it up on YouTube and you just set that ship into the sea and nothing happens. YouTube seems to be very much a sort of self-propelled thing, where if you are successful, whatever you do will be more successful. So you're kind of at a point and you have to do something to sort of keep growing. And I've not really succeeded at doing that, neither with Factorio, Satisfactory, or Oxygen not included for that matter. Don't know exactly why, but it just hasn't caught on. But I've been having a good time on streams, and that's where I enjoy it the most. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be doing YouTube. I think that YouTube has a very strong advantage in terms of tutorials, in terms of these long-running shows like my Post-Apocalypse, my Krastorio series. And let's actually jump over to my YouTube series and my YouTube view here. So I think that that's going to continue, but I probably will not do as many recorded series. I'd rather do a stream where I try a new game instead of doing a let's try series here. Don't know. We're gonna see about it. Let's talk about what's going to happen in the land of Factorio, because that's kind of still the main event around here. So the Krastorio series, as you know and hopefully love, I'm really happy that there's so much support with it. We're now past episode 50, and that's where, yeah, people, even the loyal followers of a series, they start to sort of falter off, and that's kind of expected. I think there are about 10, maybe 15 episodes left on this, but not much more. On the post-apocalypse, I absolutely love and enjoy visiting the world out there, just exploring it. But it doesn't really work very well for a Factorio base because it's a clumsy rail system that's set up. It works, yes, but yeah. So it's not something I can just easily just click in and then use. Also, it doesn't really fit my style with those 3 lanes, and there's a lot of things. So I'm going to be mixing it between exploration, going back, getting some new tech, going out there, applying the new tech, and that's going to run for, I don't know, maybe 50 more episodes or something. And then both of those series will probably come to an end at somewhat the same time. And at that point, I will start a new series. I've already the plans for that, but I'm not going to reveal it here because it's still a long time coming. So we need to focus on what is there. Space exploration, I'm going to write it here as done, but it's not quite done. But I'm going to call it done because we have two streams left, so be sure to check out the last 2 streams. That's going to be tonight if you're watching it now, so Thursday. Or if you are watching this one in the coming days, I don't know, that makes no sense talking like that on a YouTube video. Then there will be one more episode. It's going to be Thursday, the 3rd maybe of October. Anyway, that's going to be the final stream, and after that there will be a new Factorio series, and I think this is the moment I can start revealing something about that series, because the virtual crew are working, that's mainly Timbo, is working hard on coming up with or making my unreasonable request come to life in terms of the API to engage between Twitch integration and there, because I really like and I want to have this integration so that people who support me, and both with subs and with subscriptions on Twitch and with donations, they actually see an impact directly in the game. I really like that. So the way it's going to be, it's the new series will be Factorio Extended. So if you know that mod, it is a mod that basically adds a few more machines, but aside from this, it's basically normal Factorio vanilla, but it adds more machines. The reason why this is interesting is that you can build bigger, you can build faster, but it doesn't change anything. One of the things that and I'm sure a lot of viewers found a bit frustrating maybe with space exploration was the fact that nothing looked like Factorio. Everything was different. There was beautiful machines, beautiful new items, but you couldn't relate to it. Like, what is a time-space anomaly data? I don't know. I genuinely don't know, but you have to create some of those. And that kind of is why but few people can keep up anyway, because it's getting so complicated. So I want something where everyone can recognize, that's an assembler. It's green though, but it's an assembler. It's probably just faster. And yes, it is. So taking something from this planet of mine, which was also Factorio Extended, it'll be very mod light, and that means we're going to be big, very big. That's the intention. And there will be some integration. Basically, every subscription will increase the requirement for me in the megabase, and it'll scale really quickly. So, not quickly in the beginning, but it'll ramp up fast. I think probably too fast, I hope. And that's basically going to be like the more subs, the bigger the base has to get. I like that idea. And also there'll be some space constraints. It's going to be a bit gentler than Ribbon Maze, but it's going to be something where we get more space available, where the initial space we work in is very limited, and then we go out, because I think that forces me to build in a different way. And that was actually one of the fun things about this planet of mine, where there was just ore everywhere. So that's going to be the details. I think it's going to be very exciting. We're going to start on the 6th of October at 8 p.m. Central European summertime. I think it's still summertime in October. But anyway, be there. I think it's going to be great, and be sure to come in on the first episode so you get the start as well. That's what we have going for Factorio. So a lot of interesting things, both things that are more mature and also new things in the pipeline. Also, I have the Twitch sub goal, although it's a bit unrealistic, that is to do some speedruns. It's been requested, so now I put it as a sub goal, but probably not going to happen. Other content. Let's also talk about that. Let's address another elephant in the room, the Satisfactory series. I started a new streaming Satisfactory series, but only after 5 episodes I stopped that series, basically midstream. It seemed very abrupt, but it was actually well thought out, because at the before every stream, I didn't really feel that passion. I felt it a bit, but after the first one, I just didn't like the concept, and I changed the concept. Then I played it a couple of episodes more, then I changed the concept again and played a couple of episodes. And at the end of the day, if you change the concept 3 times in 5 episodes, there's something wrong. Because I kept pivoting in order to find that magic, and I just couldn't find it. I think it's a brilliant game. I love that game. But right now, I feel it's too much building stuff. Too much building stuff. It's a building game, damn you. Now, too much infrastructure in order to build something that looks nice and works well. And that was kind of dragging on a bit. And I was like building this pyramid thing, which I love the idea of, but it wasn't really well thought out. And it was just like looking at the concept of just spending like 10-15 hours just building more layers in the pyramids. It just didn't add up to me. And then was sort of the next things and the next things and the next things, and it just didn't mesh with me. And this is where coming back to the keeping the dream alive, making sure that I follow my passion. If I'm not having fun, then you're not having fun. So I'd rather stop it, wait some months, maybe in the December release there will be some new genuine content. I hope it's more than just dedicated servers, because honestly that does nothing for me. I want more machines, more ways to do things. I love that game, but it's the second game is going to be pretty close to the first game, and the fifth game, this is the 5th playthrough. I could not make it different from any of the other ones, so it wasn't really catching on. And also I must say, neither did it catch on with the viewers, so that's at least something as well. So another thing, Teamfight Tactics. As you may have noticed, I have completely fallen in love with that game, and I'm gonna play it a lot, like a lot. Basically right now I'm playing it every morning, so there's a morning stream. If I know that it's maybe not fits very well for you, you can still watch the VODs. I think it's amazing. I'm having so much fun with that game. It has the strategic depth, it has the sufficient amount of randomness, it has the tactical side, and it's fast-paced, but not mechanically difficult. I am absolutely loving it, and I'm actually going to put in a hell of an effort to really become good at it. So that's another thing. I know that there are not a lot of viewers, but I really appreciate all the viewers who come by and either just to hang out, to learn the game, or to help me learn the game. It is amazing, and I really appreciate it. The fact that it's not a lot of people, but it's enough that I don't feel that I'm sitting here by myself, and we can engage, and you can say, no, pick that one, don't do that. And it's awesome. So thank you very much for the people supporting on me when I try something new. Now you can see 2 more classics of the channel. I think someone mentioned that, oh, it's this time of year where you start longing for those games again. I think that's actually correct. So when we are stopping Satisfactory, we got 3 nights open a week, and until further notice I want to fill them up. So that means Monday and Friday I'll be playing XCOM 2, but I want to do a throwback to the good old days, my start of the streaming days. I added a Wednesday stream with Darkest Dungeon. There were very few people watching, but it was such a blast, and there was a very active chat. So the Darkest Wednesday are coming back, and not now, but probably I think around the 9th of October. So keep it in mind. But we're gonna start up a new XCOM series, starting up on. I'm just gonna zoom over here. They're starting up on tomorrow, Friday. So look at the schedule. I encourage you all to check it out, to regularly. If you wonder if I'm streaming, the easiest way is check my schedule. There's a link in the description below, and I'll try to keep this updated at least on a weekly basis, with all the days I'm streaming. So you can see here, okay, morning stream with Teamfight Tactics, then there's here, and then a better XCOM, starting up new series. Further down I have there a new FACTORIO series starting, and those I want to keep this updated, and this is where you can get an overview, because if I'm streaming 4 different games, as I'm actually about to do, then it's very difficult to figure out what day is what things. So I think that's going to be it for this update. It was pretty good. So what I want to say is I have a request, a plea maybe. I have my secondary channels is where I update VODs. I'm not sure I'm going to continue because you can look at the views here. It really is a lot of work for me to keep these updated if there's less than or about 100 views for each episode. The VODs are also available on Twitch. I know some people don't like that viewer, but it is available there, and it's just a lot of work to do. But if you want, you can go over here and hit the subscribe button. It will help me a lot. That means only when I hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel can it be monetized. That is super duper important. But yeah. So basically, new Factorio streaming series coming after space exploration, starting in a week's time from now. New XCOM series starting up tomorrow, Friday, and more things to come. And I want to thank all of the supporters, the people active in chat. I love it. I love having an active chat. So if you're there, you're welcome to lurk. But I really appreciate any and all conversations, not all, but I really appreciate when we have an active chat with things going around also, even if it's not always involving me, but just having that active and engaged chat. I love that. Also in Discord, I really am happy about it. So keep that up. To the subscribers on Twitch, thank you very much. I appreciate it. The people who have been donating so graciously, I'm very, very happy about it. This is what keeps me alive. Okay, maybe not keep me alive, but at least keep me well fed. And keep the mortgage sharks at bay. And of course, very big thank you to the Patreons. Patreon is extremely important for me. The reason why it's so important is that it is an expected regular income. So this is basically the closest thing I get to a salary, and that's really important for me to sort of have an idea about gauging where we are. So really, thank you very much for all the patrons, all the support from all the viewers, from all of the. I know that if you can't, if you can't or you don't want, that's perfectly fine. If you want to help something, be active. That's a really cool way of helping the community as well. If you can't support monetarily, if you don't want to, that's also fine. But being active is really, really beneficial. So I think that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your support. I hope to see you around both on Twitch and on YouTube. And be sure, if you don't know that I'm streaming on Twitch, do check it out, because I'm live almost 8 hours every day. It's a lot. It's a lot more than my presence on YouTube. So do come by. And if you do, just say hi in chat. I really appreciate when people drop by for the first time. Also the second time, and third time, and so on. Now I'm signing out. Thank you everyone, and stay effective.